And welcome to Conference Championship Week on Wide Right CFB. Are you having a good weekend, Lindsay? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah, very good weekend.
Do you
Better
think
than
the
some
TCU
football
Horned
teams.
Frog faithful are having a good weekend?
Well, no, my weekend is better than some football teams and fans.
How about the USC Trojans?
Poor Trojans.
Mm.
They took one on the chin there, and I don't know that too many people saw the TCU defeat coming, but there it was.
Man, I'll tell you what. So we're just kind of shotgunning it right now. I don't know if Hunter or Jude will be on tonight, but if they are, they are. They're not, they're not.
Right.
So we're going to recap some championship football games today, and we might watch a little football if I could talk a certain somebody. And putting a game on.
I think you know the right people.
Yeah, I'm connected. All right, Pat Paulson's in the house, and Bocce's blanking some more. Bocce, what is going on?
Where have you been, Bocce? I haven't seen you in so
you.
long.
We have missed you. I promise you. We've talked about you.
I was thinking about it last night. I thought it'd been a lot of fun if she was on the stream last night. And I miss you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. We are glad to see both of y'all.
Yes.
Thank you for dropping in.
It's always good to see Pat.
All right. So the Purdue-Michigan game looks closer than the, as I say that, Michigan just picks off a ball, than the Clemson-North Carolina game.
Yes.
Would you like some breaking news? You want to break some news?
Sure.
The Colorado Buffaloes have hired a new head football coach. Would you like to guess who that said head football coach is, Lindsay?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know that there was some very interesting coaching news in college football, and I forgot what team he was going to. So surprise me, and I'll tell you if I'm right or
not. He used to wear number 21.
I don't know.
Deion Sanders.
Prime time. Well, that's more impressive than the Trent Dilfer news that I heard.
Well, yeah, but Trent Dilfer's going to UAB. Is the difference between Colorado and UAB?
Yeah, there is.
Well, there used to be. Now, not so much. But you never know. Trent Dilfer might be like, a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Or he could just be a bald asshole. I don't know. It's either way.
I guess he could be, but
Trent, if you're watching, thank you for watching. We appreciate the support. Good luck next season.
Or the season after that.
Yeah, if you make it along,
Well, Bocce says she's been busy with Christmas orders and dealing with life in general. Hope all is well with us.
Yeah, we're doing great.
There's been a lot going on. Cass opened a new shop, and I've just been going like crazy as usual. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
And Lindsay's, dealing tools like a crack dealer deals that rock.
The crack chrome, as you call it, or the chrome crack.
Chrome crack.
Chrome crack. Yeah.
You got anything big coming up next week, Lindsay?
In fact, I do. Thanks for asking. Man, I would love to see.
Would you like to share your anything big you have going on?
Sure. Bocce, if you're inclined, I'd love for you to jump on a live stream I am doing next Friday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, because I'm giving away a very large and fully restored Snap-on toolbox that I held a fundraiser with for a family of a gentleman who passed away. So we're doing the drawing live next Friday at 9:30. So please join up there, and love to see you on board. And we'll have
what Lindsay's kind of getting at, Bocce, is he wants you as a guest drawer or picker, as he likes to call him.
That would be
You'll
great.
actually help pick a winner.
Yeah.
So he would like you to be part of it.
Yeah, people in the chat.
Because anytime Bocce's in a stream, she brings integrity to the stream, right? So.
Oh, we know all the integrity you can get, and she's going to be the ticket there. People know me too well.
You gotta watch that Coyle guy. He's kind of shady, a little suspect, if you ask me.
Yeah, Bocce, the stream will probably start around 9:15, and then we're going to do the drawing at 9:30. So hop on, and yeah, you can be help me choose the winners, because I'm asking people to volunteer to help me pick the winners. So it'll be a lot of fun, be interactive. There'll be a lot going on.
Lindsay, I think we kind of scaled over something kind of minorly large in my life. The
Mhm.
shop's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
My son going to Oster, Canada school in the Marine Corps is pretty big, especially in my
Also a big deal.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna let that one go. I'm gonna ride that one until I can't. So so like my son's turning pro. That's what it feels like. It's
Yeah.
like he got drafted. He's turning pro. Is what it feels like to me. I can only imagine this is what something similar what parents feel like when their kids get drafted. What's going on, Chris Hodges?
Hey, Chris.
Thanks for joining us. I don't know. I mean, I just it's yeah. Thank you, Baji. It's very cool.
It is. Although she's questioning her own integrity, which I think is interesting.
Well, it's higher than on this side of the screen. I promise you. I'm just here for commentary. If an inappropriate comment needs to be made, I'm your guy.
Hey, we all have a niche to fill.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's gonna be the asshole, might as well be me.
All right, there you go.
In wrestling, I would be known as the heel. The bad guy.
Yes, indeed.
Bachi says she's just the hooker.
My dog is licking the back of my arm. That always surprises me when he does that.
Yep. My dog would have wings at the moment, or at least he'd appear to have them, because I would have knocked him across the room. I don't have any pets. I'm not a pet. I'm not a pet person, I guess.
No, this guy right here he's all about the licking. He'll tongue punch you till he doesn't know when to stop.
All right. So how about this football game?
How about that football game?
So what do you say you do here, Lindsay?
I want to do Purdue and Michigan.
Yeah. Let's do it. And then we'll start covering some games here.
We're in commercial break right now.
So my high school alma mater lost last night, but the team he's not a friend. I mean, he's just the guy I went to high school with. His team advanced today to the 5th round of the Texas State high school playoffs, which is a big deal. Nice. Congratulations to the Westlake Chaparrals. But hey, something cool? The team that beat Dripping Springs last night is a local team as well. They're Vandergrift Vipers. They're from the Austin Cedar Park area, or Leander Cedar Park area. So, local to Central Texas, which is, sucks for my team, but, at least it's somebody that I, that lives in my area that's playing for a chance to go to the state championship.
That's very cool.
So, and then speaking of Austin Westlake, there is a former Westlake quarterback playing in the Clemson, North Carolina game right now. Congratulations to Cade Cubnett.
I thought you were going to say Drew Brees, which would have been weird.
Take him right now. Got any eligibility left, Drew? I know you watch, so just let me know.
Joey just jumped on. Joey,
I don't have Joey's contact information. Joey, Instagram me your contact info so I can send you a link.
He probably won't.
On. We can at least harass you till you do, because I know that you want to be on Wide Right CFE more than anything else tonight.
He just needs to come out of his shell. He's shy.
Is he like a turtle? Is he hiding?
Earl all curled up in his cute little shell. That's okay, Joey. We'll hug you right out of that shell.
No, I think I'm gonna leave the hugging to you. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on the hugging.
Wow, I guess you know where we stand. Joey declines because he's shopping for tools on HSN.
HSN. You should be on the CSN, the Coil Shopping Network here. That's a great idea for a live. You know what I mean? Just have the Coil Shopping Network, CSN. We just get really bad suits and wear them. We paid $7 for this whole outfit.
That's such a crazy
Coil
idea.
Shopping Network.
That's so crazy. It doesn't work. Man. Yeah, Bocce, he plays the role well. I don't think he's nearly your size he lets on.
He just want to come on because, Jude's not here. He didn't have anybody to pick on.
He can pick on you and me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we pick back. Jude's
Oh,
Like, oh, Joey, you're hiding, Joey. Where's Jude right now, anyways?
I don't know. Probably out in California somewhere.
Yep, I would assume that'd be
I am-
100% chance he's there. Unless he went to
thinking
Mars, and then, Joey says he's not made for YouTube.
No, you're
Joey,
right,
just
Joey.
because you have a voice for TV and a face for silent film, or wait, no, a voice for silent film and a face for radio, doesn't mean you can hide.
Joey, you're right. You're not made for YouTube. YouTube was made for you. Yeah, voice for radio and
No,
no,
you have a
a
face,
face
for
for radio and a voice for print
yeah, or for silent film.
or silent film.
Oh man, you ever watched the movie The Waterboy?
Oh, it's been a long time, but yeah.
So you remember when he was talking about Captain Insano?
No, I don't. I don't
You
remember much
Captain
about that movie.
Insano, the wrestler Captain Insano. He's talking about Captain Insano opening a can of whoop ass. Well, Clemson just opened a can of whoop ass on North Carolina right now. It is not close, none whatsoever.
What's the score now?
38-10, and pending the extra point.
Well, the blowout earlier was
Georgia.
Yeah, that one was not even close. But I was very surprised at the Utah game last night and the TCU game.
That was a blowout.
Yeah, very surprising.
Oofta Marie. That is not good. The good news is I've got this on advanced streaming capabilities right now, so I can tell you what's going on.
Oh, you got time travel gauge and
I'm in time traveler right now. Would you like to know the next play? I bet you $10 million that number 89 catches the ball for a substantial gain, but doesn't score a touchdown.
I will not take that bet.
He gets it down to about the 6 to 7 yard, something like that.
I'm
just prognosticating. Hold on.
Of course.
Let me hold my Google machine to my head. Yep, that's it right there. Here we go. It's a big play here. He drops back.
Look at that.
Oh, and he freezes.
Just like you said would happen. Wow.
I'll be accepting my Nobel
That's
Peace
amazing.
Prize now.
Try explaining that to like a 5-year-old, though, how you just did that. They wouldn't have no idea.
I would seem like I was God. We'd leave it that way, too. Somewhere there's a kindergarten class that thinks Cass is amazing.
And somewhere there's
Mr. Cass is so smart, he predicted 47 seconds into the future.
And somewhere there's a woman so old enough that I look sexy.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to call BS on the kids thing. There's no way kids will believe that because there's the 5-year-olds know about delay on a computer.
That's true.
Anytime I have computer problems, I got to go ask my 14-year-old daughter, like, hey, how do I do this? She's like, oh, come on. She's like, okay, boomer. I'm like,
That gets old.
I don't fall in that one.
That gets old.
All right. Let's talk about some games yesterday. We forgot to talk about a game yesterday. Pretty important one, too.
Which one?
At least for me. The Conference USA Championship. We never talked about it on Wednesday night.
Oh.
Never, ever, ever. We just glossed over it because I was stuck in the top 25 and not all games.
Well,
and so we
how do
missed
rectify
out
that?
on a huge victory. They did get to host the game by the University of Texas at San Antonio Roadrunners. They beat. Oh, who did they beat? Golly.
The North Texas Mean Green.
North Texas Mean Green. Hold on a second. I'm not sure who we're looking at on the back stream here. Please welcome to the show. It says Mr. Cool, but I don't recognize this fella. Please welcome to the stream, Jude Santa Cruz, I think. Did you get your haircut?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I'm glad they can at least see your
Do you have a
face.
court appearance you have to make, or what?
Oh,
No,
oh.
just
Man.
Just something different.
You're trying to break the
Man.
curse. You thought you'd grow the hair out until USC lost, and then you're like, gotta break the curse. TOCB, got your
I
care of
was in
business.
here about 30 minutes ago, and then I didn't realize it was 45 today instead of 30.
Oh man, I couldn't get the
40.
damn. I thumbed the screen all up. It was terrible. My phone looks like a 3-year-old was eating mashed potatoes and playing with the phone. It's horrible.
Yeah, I
get
just dipped in for a second, and I'm actually I'm out. My friend, he on Thanksgiving he has the same birthday as me, but he's a year older than me. He turned 50, so they're celebrating today because his family's been sick. But I wanted to I locked myself in the bathroom real quick, come and say what's up.
Well, we appreciate you locking yourself in the bathroom.
That is next level dedication. That's fantastic.
Jude Bocci says hi.
What do you guys think about TCU, man? What do you guys think about that TCU game? That was wild.
You know what my thought was on that thing. I texted Jude and Lindsay earlier today. And I thought the coaches blew that game at the end. You ran 3 plays and you didn't give the ball to your best player not one single time. That pissed me off so bad. I mean, it was great that he led his team back, but then to not give him the ball in overtime. Like, if they don't make the CFP because of that, then good for them. You know what I mean? Or good for the CFP because they don't deserve to be there.
I honestly think if they would have won, I think Max Duggan was winning himself the Heisman today.
I don't know. I mean, like right now, I don't know who the Heisman is going to be. I have no clue. I mean, realistically, Max Duggan has the best resume. He has the best resume against top 25 teams. He's got better than C.J. Stroud. It's better than Blake Corum. It's better than Caleb Williams. Yeah. He didn't lose that game today. I mean, I thought the coaches lost the game for him.
Oh, absolutely. You can't put that on him.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, Stetson Bennett's going to be a hard guy to beat. I mean, I would assume that – I don't even know who's going to New York. I mean, I guess we'll find out tomorrow, right? I mean, they're voting on this thing next week.
Yeah.
Speaking of next week, Jude, you got like 2 more minutes to hang out with us?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of next week, we have our wide right CFB. We call it a 500-ish subscriber. I'm going to set the standard just a little lower. We're going to call it the 35 subscriber giveaway. We get the 35 subscribers. I mean, we just came off a couple numbers. I mean, and nothing big, right? I mean, just 1 or 2 decimal places. But so what you're gonna win? You got to be a member of the Wide Right CFB crew. You're gonna have to like actually, be a subscriber. Next Saturday morning, we're gonna have a video come out. It's gonna be probably a minute long, and you're gonna have to watch that video to its completion. Then you're gonna have to make a comment in the comment box. And you're going to have to give it a like. And so what we'll do is we'll take those random comments and we'll put into a little magic time machine that'll go and pick a winner. What you're going to win is 2 of these Wide Right CFB shirts, a football, maybe signed by the Wide Right CFB crew, and 2 Buffalo Wild Wing gift cards for $50 a piece. So a grand total of $100 in Buffalo Wild Wings. 2 of these shirts of your choice, your size, your choice, and a football signed by the Wide Right CFB crew. Maybe on the football. I don't know. Joey, is it in transit yet? Waiting on the ball, Joey.
Let's not overpromise that football if it's in Joey's hands right now.
Well, I mean, Jude's he's authorized me to sign it for him. It'd be an authorized signature. He says, Mr. Cool, #1, USC forever. All the love, Cool Jude Santa Cruz. Lindsay's going to sign his. Lindsay the Greek. Bet the under.
That's pretty
Bocci
funny.
has a good idea for a new live stream series for you, Jude.
What's that?
With Jude. Yeah, Toilet Talk with Jude. It's a great theme. We can build on that.
That's funny. What's up, Bud?
All right,
How are you?
So Jude, just let me know when you get a split. Anyways, so the drawing is going to happen next Saturday night at 8-9 o'clock, something like that. Probably 9 o'clock Central Time. Kind of depends. And then we're going to have a world galactically known guest on the show next week. Would y'all agree? Galactically known. They know him
Absolutely.
in all the
Yeah.
planets.
Yes.
Galactic.
I don't know if it's intergalactic, but certainly everyone in this
Intergalactic.
galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yep. Dopey me.
People in-
Intergalactically known.
Purdue just got a bid.
So we're gonna have an intergalactically known guest on the show. We're gonna have Jude Santa Cruz on the show, who's just world famous, and then me, who nobody knows. And we're gonna give away this prize worth the teens of dollars. So you can go and enjoy Buffalo Wild Wings on us while wearing a White Right CFP shirt, which makes you even cooler than that. And then you can play a game of toss, or you can use the football to sleep on, or lay against in your drunken slumber after you spend $100 in beers at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's up to you. So
I'm
You got
going
a
to
great
get back
over
there.
there.
I think there's a line out here.
all right, Jude.
Hey, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Well, now we're not as cool.
if they start knocking on the door, he says, just yell at him. He says, "I'm not done yet."
Cass, how are you going to get Governor Gavin Newsom on, man? I told you last night, I got a guy on speed dial, right? I'm like, it's under scumbag in my phone, right? I just dial scumbag and Gavin Newsom appears.
I think there'd be a number of people.
I don't know
vying
how it
for that.
works. I just don't know how it works. Lindsay,
I
some
would think
guys
there'd be a
just-
number of people vying for that scumbag title.
No, I mean, there's kind of a revolving door,
Okay.
Like there's
All right.
scumbag 1, scumbag 2,
Scumbag
ultra
of the week.
scumbag, uber scumbag, uber scumbag. But yes, he is scumbag. He is the OG scumbag. He's got that slick back hair and that kind of douchey
OG.
laugh,
Wow.
I just, it is what it is. The guy, if you're going to be an apple, be an apple.
Go big or go home.
Look, Joey lives in the state and he's like, he is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there you go. I don't even know how Joey, if Joey's political or not. I don't know. I don't want to know, but I'm just saying. All right, let's get back on to this North Texas UTSA game. UTSA wins this game 48-27. Frank Harris looked tremendous. Threw for 341 in the air. Kavorian Barnes rushed for 175. And then Zachary Franklin caught 144 reception or passing yards. Just total domination by UTSA. North Texas is a good team. They did play it in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. And it's a total beatdown. The cool thing for me is I actually coach the kid that's on the team. So anybody want to shout out to Diego Teo? He's quarterback on UTSA. He's like third string quarterback. But still, I coached him. He got everything he knows from everybody else but me. So yes, Jude did look kind of like a Catholic priest. But he said in the backstream, he was like, "Bless you, my son." So then last night we had number 11 Utah take on number 4 USC. And at the end of the first quarter, it looked like USC was going to handle business. And then Utah had been putting money in the bank with their running game, and they went and they beat down USC from the second quarter to the end of the game. And it wasn't close. They beat them 47-24. Caleb Williams had 363 passing yards. Jaquindon Jackson, who is a converted quarterback to running back for Utah, had 105 yards, but they were meaningful yards when it counted. When they had to put USC away, those counted. And Taj Washington had 93 receiving yards. Now, this game was played in Vegas. It was kind of like a neutral site game, but it really felt like it was more of a Utah home crowd feel to it. It didn't seem like USC was into the game, and then they got punched up. They got dirtied up there at the end of the game. What do you think on that one, Jude? I mean, Lindsay. Sorry.
This one, I think, was even less close than the lopsided score indicated. When you break it down and you see that Utah got out of the blocks pretty slow, but like you said, after the second period, they poured it on, and the fourth quarter was huge for them, and it's what gave them the game because they scored 23 points in the fourth quarter alone. And a lot of other stats are fairly evenly matched during the game, but they had 533 total offensive yards, which is or total yards, which was certainly a difference maker for them. And there's a lot of people who are I think working through the hangover from the game last night because who wouldn't have picked USC to win, really? And as I was keeping my eyes out to see, how things are shaping up for the game, things were predominantly in USC's favor. So I don't know all the things that went into USC's, lack of ability on that. Certainly the defense was hurting. They did not have what it took to stop Utah, and they were steamrolled. And I suspect that as the game wore on and USC wore down, that gave Utah all the energy they needed to walk away with the game at the end. And, the last half of the game, Utah scored 30 points to USC 7. And that's going to be the difference maker in any game.
Yep. All right. I bet you after this commercial, it's going to be an HEB grocery store commercial. $500 on the line. Who wants to bet me?
Yeah. Well, you'd be right. If
my gosh.
Look at that. You would be right guessing HEB commercials, lawyer commercials, or medication commercials.
Hey, it is what it is. At least a jail release. You can either call the 444 guy, or we have another one that's 777-7777 for jail release, and that's the whole commercial. It's great. It comes on about 3:00 in the morning when you really need it. All right, let's talk about one final game from yesterday. It was a makeup game between Akron and Buffalo. And this was from a few weeks ago when they had the old snow out. Buffalo wins this one 23-22. This is a MAC game. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest game I've ever watched in my life, but it wasn't terrible. It was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't good. All right. So speaking of the MAC, let's talk about the MAC championship. And that happened today. And that was between Toledo and Ohio, which are both in Ohio, I believe. Toledo pulls down the W 17-7 over Ohio. They are the MAC champions, and they will be the MAC's representation in the college football playoff. Kidding. Toledo wins. I didn't watch this game. I had better things to do. I think the paint was drying in my house or something. I don't know.
And they had to watch it. Yeah. Watch that paint dry. Some grass was growing outside. They just had to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, just whatever it takes to be a fan of the MAC. I'm sure the tens of people in attendance enjoyed that game. So,
all the
all right. You want to cover some other games that happened today? Let's get off the championship games real quick. We need to talk about a big win for a well-deserved team. New Mexico State, they missed out on a game with San Jose State because San Jose State had a player unfortunately passed away. And so they had to apply for a waiver because they weren't going to have enough, FBS opponents or wins against FBS opponents to qualify. They missed the game because of an unfortunate circumstance. So they played a makeup game today anyways. They got the waiver. So they're going to be in a bowl game. And they played Valparaiso, who they throttled 65-3. So congratulations to New Mexico State. This game, believe it or not, was not on TV. Can you believe that, Lindsay?
That's surprising to me. I would think
New Mexico State and Valparaiso.
How do you not air that?
I don't get it.
I don't know. A mom with her cell phone would have been adequate for coverage on that game. How do you not put that on the air?
That's what I'm saying. Number 21. That's my baby. Tell me she wouldn't be a proud mother out. I mean, she would be waving that little, New Mexico State pennant and wearing the sweater and cheering on her baby, number 21. So
the problem with games like that is not enough fans show up to even take their shirts off and spell Mexico State. So
they did abbreviations. They had an M. One of them was a cardboard cutout. So
That's what they should have done. Go back to the COVID days of filling the stadium with cutouts of people.
It looked like a Korean baseball league baseball game. They had blow up dolls and cutouts, cardboard cutouts. It's funny, they all are in awe the whole game. All right, anyways, I digress. We move on to the Mountain West Championship, which is the side of New Mexico bad. And we had Fresno State travel to that ugly blue field in Boise, Idaho, and take on the Boise State Broncos.
Whose
Fresno
idea
wins
was it
this
to make
one.
that field, like to put the turf on that field?
The only worst one is like Eastern Washington or whatever.
Can we
They
get
have
those
this
people? Can we get those people on this channel and grill them on that?
Oh, they probably love it. You know, like,
You
when
think?
it snows, you can see the field. It's not like green that disappears under snow. Blue is so much easier to see.
Is it though? Why would you do that? That makes zero sense to me.
Every time I watch the game, I just want to throw up.
Yes, it makes me dizzy. My eyes hurt.
I can't even watch Eastern Washington's home games because they play on a red field. Like, it just bothers my face, like, extremely bad. So, all right. Who wants to bet me on the next play of the Michigan game?
Is this the one
Anybody?
where? Is this after the
After this current play? Yes.
right
Who wants
after
to bet me
Jones
on
comes out of bounds?
The next play. I can tell you what it is, but it'd be cheating myself. All right, I digress. On to so anyways, Fresno State takes the victory, 28-16. Boise State used to be the sleeping. I don't know, the dark horse. We're gonna call them a dark horse. They're not a sleeping giant. They're not good enough to be a sleeping giant, but they were this good dark horse team for many years. And Chris Peterson takes the Washington job. Then they have what's his name? Gus Malzahn 6.0, whatever his name is. He just got fired. Brian Harsin. And then they hired Andy Avalos. Andy Avalos is probably a good guy, good coach, but for some reason they just lost their edge. They just don't feel like a dark horse team anymore. So.
Bocce's betting $1,000 on my money that you don't know the next play.
Oh, I do. That's the best part. So, would you like to know if they make the field goal, Bocce? I know that answer.
You guys talked about amongst yourselves. I have to let a dog outside. Hold on one second.
Who let the dogs out? All right, let's get into the comments. I'll talk to the panelists here. Pat Seavey says, fun fact, the athletic director did that because the blue turf was the same price and he thought it'd be good marketing. Well, I mean, it could be good marketing. It's just hard to watch. Bocce says, I bet $1,000 of Lindsay's money. You do not know the next play. Well, so there's about a 15-second delay between the game we're watching on YouTube and the game I have right in front of me. And I've seen the before version, so I would be right with Lindsay's money a lot. But thanks for helping me out, Bocce. I could use the extra cash right now. Just saying. Raging Cajun Garage says, hello, everybody. Raging, what's going on? How you doing? Bocce says, you guys don't knock the ball. Mom's with the cell phone. All right. So I put you that whole deal. You guys don't knock the ball, moms, with the cell phone. Bocce's over there screaming for a baby. Let's go, number 21. And she was like, I was just going to say 444, 4444. Joey Prestiato said, I would put Utah up against any team, not saying they would win, but they'd be damn good.
But isn't that why you would put a team up against any other team? Because they think they could win?
I'm telling you right now, you put Utah up against Georgia, it might be a good game. You put Ohio State up against Georgia, they're going to get mollywopped. They're going to get taken out behind the building and get their asses spanked. they're going to be like an angry kid at the mall who won't shut up. He's getting his ass whooped in the parking lot when they get into like the cars and the people can't see directly. The dad just whipping his ass. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All right, you ready to cover some more games, Lindsay?
Well, Raging Cajun just stopped and let's say hi to Raging. Hey, Raging.
Well, I said hi to him while you were out.
Oh, did you say hi to Pat CB?
Absolutely. Pat CB said, fun fact, Lindsay, the athletic director did that because the blue turf was the same price as the green turf, and he thought it would be good marketing.
He was wrong.
Well, as it, we're talking about it, so obviously it worked.
Well, here's the thing. They should have given him a discount on the turf. How is that not like a quarter of the price of green? And why did anyone even have it in stock?
They're right next to you, Lindsay. Blue and green, they're right next to each other in color spectrum. I say Eastern
okay,
Washington paid the most because they're the R on the Roy G. Biv. That's just my elementary school.
That
you
is
just
true.
missed him. You just missed him, Raging. He was at a birthday party, so he couldn't stay for long.
He called us from the bathroom.
Literally, he was in the bathroom.
Literally.
All right, I digress. Would you like to cover the Sun Belt Conference Championship, Lindsay?
Sure.
We had the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers take on the Troy. I'm not gonna lie to you, tell you I know what Troy's mascot is. I don't. They could be the Trojans. I actually think they may be the Trojans. Troy Trojans.
It is. It is the Trojans.
All right. So
Like
Troy
USC.
takes the victory, 45-26 in a just absolute beatdown. But Grayson McCall did play for the Chanticleers, and he threw for 319 yards, and he's a little bit banged up. So congratulations to Troy for the victory, and Grayson McCall. Hope you heal up and have a better season next year.
Well, at least somebody's Trojans team won this weekend.
That is true. The men of Troy won. They just weren't in California.
That's.
My son actually watched this game, and he said it was never close. Troy absolutely destroyed Coastal Carolina. My son is a huge Sun Belt fan, and he cheers for the Texas State Bobcats, who've got a new coach today. Well, this week. They got a new coach this week, but he won't be with the team until he finishes up playing in the FCS, which is the Football Championship Series, with his team, Incarnate Word. They won today against Furman, and they will play to be determined next week, I think. So we might cover some FCS next Saturday while we're watching Army Navy. I think it's appropriate, don't you?
Yeah, it'll be good.
So no Wednesday stream next week. If you're want to tune in and watch Wednesday stream with us, we're not going to be there. Well, what I'm going to tell you right now is we're going to have a busy Saturday next Saturday. Busy Saturday. You got to be there. You know, all kinds of famous people are going to show up. World, intergalactically known famous people are going to show up. So, got to be there. All right. In the, man, I don't even know what this conference is. AAC? Would that be right? Is that right? I got to pull this up. I'll look and see. I think it's the American Athletic Conference. Could be wrong on this. I wish Hunter was here. This makes it a whole lot easier whenever I
he knows all this stuff.
I'm an old man. We had UCF take on the number 22 UCF Golden Knights take on the number 18 Tulane Green Wave. And Tulane, true to form, gave UCF a thumping. And it was 45-28. It was a little closer midway through the second quarter into the third, but not for long. I mean, Tulane, they can run the ball. They can play good defense. I watched a little of this game. I was pretty impressed with Tulane. It's just an overall butt whipping. So congratulations to the Green Wave on their best season since like the 60s or something like that. And then their I don't know, their first conference championships is like, I don't know, the medieval times. So
if Tulane drives on the interstate, is it then 3-lane or 4-lane?
They call it 2-lane because it's 2 lanes in, 2 lanes out. It's in New Orleans, but now they have this. They have this like loop that goes around the city. You don't even have to go into the city anymore. You can just take the loop. So you just drive right past 2-lane, and really it's 2 lanes and 4 lanes. So, but it's 2 lanes this way, 2 lanes that way.
Seems to be a misnomer. They need to change.
Yeah, no, I actually think it's named after somebody. So we're probably insulting somebody's family, but it's okay. You know, what we don't know doesn't hurt them.
I got news for the Tulane family. They're not the first people we've insulted.
You're not the best family we insulted today. I cursed that Elon Musk character when I was driving by one of his damn cars earlier, so take that. All right. I digress. I don't have anything to add on the Tulane UCF game. Do you have anything there, Lindsay?
I do not.
All right. So we'll move on to the Big 12, where the number 10 Kansas State Wildcats took on the number 3 ranked TCU Horned Frogs. And Kansas State wins this game in overtime, 31-28. And TCU did everything they could to come back, during regulation and everything they could do in overtime to not win. It was very frustrating to watch this game. That looks like a face mask. It's very frustrating to watch this game, not because I'm a fan of either school. It's just because I am a fan of good coaching versus bad coaching. And I think we saw great coaching out of Kansas State's coach. Coach Chris Kleiman gets his first conference championships. Congratulations to Kansas State. And Sonny Dykes, you win the Bonehead of the Week award for calling the same play twice that didn't work either time in overtime to basically lose the game for your team. So congratulations to both coaches. TCU looks like it's probably going to survive this loss and still play in the college football playoff. And Kansas State will play in the Sugar Bowl versus the opponent to be named later, most likely Alabama. So that could be an interesting matchup. Kansas State plays a very tough physical brand of football, and so does Alabama. So, but the difference is Kansas State doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They don't get a lot of penalties. Alabama has been penalty stricken this year, like an illness, like a disease. So, would you agree with that statement, Lindsay?
I completely agree with that statement.
But we'll cover more of that in our bowl preview. We're going to have a bowl pick'em contest between all of us at Wide Right CFB, and whoever wins the bowl pick'em contest is going to get a round of applause from the other contestants, because that's about all we got right now. Maybe a bottle of water. Past that, I don't know. I don't even know if it's illegal to have bottles of water in California. Is plastic bottle are those legal, Joey? Are those legal in California? Ruling from the California.
Yeah, they've outlawed plastic altogether. Now they have to make everything on paper.
Paper?
Yeah, everything. Doesn't matter what it is.
California's
a plastics-free state now.
What about condoms?
Paper.
Paper condoms. Nice.
Yep. Paper condoms. You started with paper straws. Now it's paper condoms, paper water bottles, paper cars, I think. Pretty much. Paper.
Oh, man. Once again, we're just driving this thing down a bumpy road. The train is off the tracks. We're just going down the gravel road now. So much fun. So much fun. All right. Do you have anything to add on the Big 12 championship game?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. It was a shocker. I was very bummed. I was very disappointed in my own pick on that one.
So we don't really even know who's going to New York for the national championship, the Heisman Trophy. Would you say that Max Duggan gave a Heisman-worthy performance today in that game?
Yeah, I say he did, but I will say that Stetson Bennett is looking so good and so consistent this year. He's risen to the top of my list.
Well, the mailman's delivered on Saturdays every week this year. So,
yep.
Hey. All right. So does Max Duggan deserve the invite to New York for his performance this year?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, all right. He may have a chance to win it. He may not. I don't know. I don't even know who's going. So, all right. We move on to the number one team in the land, number one Georgia. They took on LSU, and they win of a score of 50-30. And really, the part of LSU's 30 came in the second half once it was established that Georgia was going to win by a wide margin. And the backup quarterback for LSU, he's not their regular quarterback. He played pretty well today, Garrett Nussmeier. But he was under constant pressure from Georgia's defense. I don't know how anybody's going to be able to compete with Georgia the way they can apply pressure on defense. They can go and put their corners and their defensive backs on islands, and they can absolutely attack the line of scrimmage with 7 players and force you to make bad plays. What are your thoughts on that one, Lindsay?
I agree 100%. And one of the biggest differences in the game today was that Georgia had a running game that LSU couldn't touch, and LSU couldn't move the ball on the ground. They did okay in the air, but it was not nearly enough because they were outmatched from the word go on this one. LSU was never competitive in this game. And, when you break it down, there's not a lot of glaring deficiencies in statistics on this one. It was really just execution on the field. And LSU just fell short. They did not have what it took to compete with Georgia. And I did not personally think that anyone can compete with Georgia this year. I believe that they are that good. I didn't see it being a blowout like this, though. I thought the scores would be much, much closer, and I thought LSU honestly was going to put in a better effort. I was a little disappointed. Now, granted, they scored 30 points, and they lost by 20. So, it was all their defense on this one. They just let Georgia run roughshod over them.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like the Utah game last night. I think Georgia put in enough work in the early portion of the game that the body blows, it's like the old boxing adage. They put in enough of those body blows so they just get the team to a point where they can't handle anymore, and it's easy. You're at the score at will, and then they make a ton of mistakes on offense because they're so far behind.
Yes.
And it was just like that steamroller effect. Once the steamroller starts rolling, then it just starts breaking everything down. But congratulations to Georgia for a perfect season. They really, they had a couple of close-ish games, and if winning by 10 is close, then I guess. But Georgia's been the class of the field the whole season. They've been the measuring stick of college football. If you want to be number one, you better learn how to play football as dominant as Georgia is. So I'll say that. But it's fun to watch if you like watching, guys that'll be playing on Sunday next year.
Yeah.
But congratulations to LSU. Really, LSU they were like 500 last year. Brian Kelly came in and gave him a new voice, and he's a proven leader at head coach. And LSU's trending in the right direction. Their recruiting is looking pretty solid as well, along with just the solid coaching that they're receiving from Brian Kelly. So they look on the up and up. They, won't take long for LSU to return back to the top. It's one of those things. Cream always rises to the top. You know what I mean? So, but they'll be there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this evening's matchup. The number 9 Clemson Tigers traveled to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the number 23 North Carolina Tar Heels, and at last glance, Clemson was beating North Carolina soundly. So let's see what the
4.5 minutes to go in the game. Clemson's up 39-10.
Oh, so it's still close. They have a chance.
They better be. Well, I don't know. Clemson's got the ball, so we'll see.
Are they taking a knee? So they pulled their starting quarterback out at the beginning of the game after 2 series, and then they put in their backup quarterback who does tremendous. Now do they put the starter back in? I don't know how this works. You gotta leave the I'm gonna switch over to. I'm gonna switch my computer over real quick so I can see who's playing quarterback right now, just so I can let you know if we have to change the channel or not. Sound like
on the Clemson game?
Yeah, I just have to know if they put the original starter back in the game to finish the game. That would be rough.
That would be pretty rough.
That would be rough. Waiting on my. Let's see here. You got to go with the third string quarterback, right? Got to get that guy some reps too.
It would be nice.
That's really a bad sign. Like, you're basically telling the starter, like DJU, you're basically telling like, hey, thanks for the year. See you next year wherever you're going. Can I help you pack your bags? Help you to the car. Joey Preciado goes, what about Colorado to the top 25 next year? Well, Joey, they're going to need more than Coach Prime to be in the top 25. They're going to need some talent to go around Coach Prime. Now, I know he's going to bring his son Shadur with him and probably a plethora of 5 stars, but they came from the SWAC, and they're going to go to the Pac-12, where they're going to compete with the likes of Utah, USC, UCLA, and whomever else in the conference. Arizona, the mighty Arizona State Wildcats? Sun Devils. Looks like the possibly, I can't tell. The screen's too small. I don't know who's the quarterback. It's not. I know it's not DJU. This play works, by the way, if you're curious. Wait for it. It's the oldest trick in the book. Ha! Made you look.
Well, let me see if I can find out here. Clemson.
I could tell he's not TJU. But past that, I can't tell you who it is. I'm looking on an 1.5 inch wide screen. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This game's over. Transfer portal. Remember, USC cheated and they had 19 transfers this year.
Oh.
Yeah, but they got blown out in their own conference championship game. So, are we prognosticating that Colorado's going to get blown out in their conference championship game as well?
You can draw a line between them.
I hate bringing up other sports and using other sports as an analogy. Would that be correct? I guess
It's a very popular thing. For some reason, baseball has a lot of analogies in other sports.
So, a good baseball team, they build to a solid farm team, right? Would I be right on that?
Yeah. Well, it looks like Taylor is the quarterback right now for Clemson.
Okay. Well. And good news, Pele is responding well to breathing treatment. So good luck to Pele. I think he's a soccer player. I think.
Come on, of course.
I don't know anything about soccer.
I don't think he is anymore.
Well, he was. I think he's like 1,000 years old now.
Yeah, wasn't he popular back in the 70s or 80s?
I don't know. I was only around for 1 year of the 70s. I couldn't tell you.
It's good that you missed most of that decade. There was very, very few things worth
I missed Jimmy Carter.
You missed Jimmy Carter in the tail end of the Nixon administration.
Yeah, I lucked out. I'm not gonna lie. I don't miss the 70s. I do miss the 90s. I love the 90s. I have the CD that says I do too.
90s
Fat Joke Saturday, Lindsay. Come on.
The early 90s were a bad time for fashion. 70s was a bad time for a lot of music. Some music good, not much.
The early 90s was not a bad time for fashion.
Do you ever watch any movies that were made in the 90s?
I lived in the 90s. Of course I did.
It was bad.
I was a young person in the 90s. I was a young adult in the 90s. I had the jabots, like the parachute pants and the silk shirt,
Yeah, you say that like it's not bad.
It wasn't. I was popular. God damn it.
Bachi, were you an 80s kid?
The 80s. Yeah, Bachi, I think Bachi and you share the same vintage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was born in 1970. So I don't remember a lot of the early 70s. My solid memory started coming in the later 70s, but by the time you're, in your early teens, you're well into the 80s. And
listen, Bachi loves the 80s, but she's really only 24, right? So,
oh, okay.
See,
she's seen it in movies and stuff.
Hey, look, I'm married. I know how to answer these questions properly. When my wife has a birthday, she's been 24 for like the last 30 years. So we're just saying. She's not that old. I'm kidding.
Or is she? I don't know.
She is a little bit older than me, but when I say a little bit, like months older, not years
Okay.
older. Well, okay, 18 months. That's a year and a half. But I look much younger than her, though. So, when people see us out there, like, oh, it's nice you're taking your mom to dinner. But
wow.
She's not in the room. I can say it when she's not around. She doesn't watch. And if she is watching, she'd be in here right now. So I know she doesn't watch. The process of elimination here. I pulled it up. Bachi was born in the summer of love.
69, but she's 25 years old.
She is only 25 years old. Congratulations to Bachi.
That's nice.
For maintaining that age.
Yes, and that youthful disposition. I'm jealous. I feel like I'm well into my 80s some days. And then I look at my mom and my dad, and they're better off like with their joints and stuff than I am. Like I'm a disaster when it comes to knees and hands and shoulders and things. So maybe I have the knees of like a 102-year-old.
I am an old man. I deserve it. I have the birthday of a middle-aged person, but I have the body of a elderly person. I am there with you with all kinds of aches and pains.
Yeah, I have to convert. Like you convert human ears to dog ears and dog ears. I have to convert my ears to tortoise ears.
Oh, here comes my wife. She may have heard one of my comments about her.
About me?
Yeah, I said you're the greatest wife in the history of wives.
Oh, that's fucking lie.
She said I was lying.
Well, Bachi says she has more arthritis than her 87-year-old father. My dad was over helping me out with something a couple of years ago. and he's actually helping me do some electrical work on one of my tool trucks because he's way smarter with electrical stuff than I am. So he's helping me figure out running a new circuit. And we're both sitting on the floor as I'm working in the electrical distribution panel of the truck. And then we go to get up, and he just hops right up, and I'm like grabbing on to shelves and pushing on the floor, and I'm going, ah! Making old man sounds. Like get to the. He says, "Holy cow!" He says, "You're way worse than me." I'm like, "Tell me about it." I've had a harder life on my joints than he has. But he's still.
Do you mind me asking what your dad did for? What was his profession?
He was electronic engineer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of the only people I know who always knew what he wanted to do for a living since he was a kid and did it.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah, it is. So he was
and
around.
You decided that you wanted to be the tool man.
That came later. Like originally, like when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a cop, and then I got a gig being a part-time like seasonal cop, but you have to go to the same. You have to go to the same academy as
Like,
career cop.
were you like Paul Blart Mall Cop, or were you like
no? This was working for a city, for a municipality. So they would use this for seasonal stuff and like on weekend gigs and stuff like that, special events, stuff like that. And nothing made me want to not be a cop anymore than actually becoming a cop.
Did you ever get to use the phrase "book 'em, Dano"?
I never did. But I did really like public services, so I became an EMT, and I worked for the city of Boston for a number of years, and I did enjoy that. That was a lot of fun. But,
of course, dealing with drunk people all the time was a blast.
They weren't all drunk.
Come on, you're
drunk people. Drunk people are fun though.
Some are, some aren't.
I never met a drunk person I didn't like. That's not true. My ex-wife.
Agree to disagree.
I never, as an EMT, I never met a drunk person I didn't like.
I was never an EMT, so I can't help you there.
No.
But I've been to Boston, and I saw less sober people.
Yeah.
The only sober people were possibly, I don't know who they were. I think even the cops were drinking on the job.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The priest, I know for sure he was drinking on the job.
Well, back in the 80s and 90s, it was all that kind of thing.
So I've actually been to Fenway Park. I sat on the third base line. We were like, I don't know, 20 rows up on the third base line, something like that. So we saw the Red Sox host the Baltimore Orioles, and just a lackluster game in which Mo Vaughn came to the plate 4 times and didn't do anything. And that was the highlight of the game.
Wow.
So
that's surprising. He was money back then. He was
Mo-licious.
He was. I mean, I went to a few Red Sox games where he comes up blasting home runs over the Green Monster, and it was money in the bank.
Yep. So I have been to a game, and yeah, it was fun. Boston's a neat place. There's nothing about it I don't like.
Except the road system in Boston.
We drove in and we drove out, and then we took public transportation throughout the city. So
that's a good way to do it, because their road system, as it is now, it was built by paving over colonial era cow paths. So they wander through the city. There's nothing straight.
It's not much worse than Austin. All right.
No, Austin's a grid layout. It's actually not bad. And they have numbered streets.
But
New
every
York
street's
City,
got
New York
3
City's
names.
the same way. Well, New York's the same way. Have numbered streets. It's all a grid. If you want to get to 45th Street and you're on 10th Street, that's 35 blocks. And
yeah, but Austin doesn't have that, because what are you on? Mopac, Loop 1, Burnt Road, Canyon Lane? Which one? You got to pick one of the names.
Oh, here's a better one. The Bocce will know this. You can go south on Interstate 93, north on Route 128, and on Route 3 simultaneously.
Nice.
Yes, in Boston, you can do that.
I have to take else words on this Boston.
It is strange.
But Boston subways are very clean. I enjoyed where I am. I've been to other subway systems, and they were not as clean as Boston. Boston was very clean. Yeah. It felt very safe. It looked like everybody there was very, everybody there was very respectful of each other. So, but this has also been a while, like close to 30 years ago. So,
well, let's see, 30 years ago.
28 years ago. I'll say 28 years ago.
So that was early 90s.
Mid 90s.
We may have seen each other. I was working for the city then.
I didn't need the paramedics to come save me.
If you called 911, I might have shown up.
Nice. We were staying at a hotel and had a mall attached to it. And the highlight of the trip was we went to the mall and Dan Quayle was signing his new book that had come out. So I didn't buy the book, but we stood in line to go take a picture with Dan Quayle. And somewhere there's some undeveloped film and a 14 or 15-year-old me standing next to Dan Quayle.
That's a picture I would love to see.
So, and there was like 4 of us in line. Like there's a huge crowd. The 4 of us that walked into the mall were like, "Oh, it's Dan Quayle. Let's go get a picture."
Bashi, that'd be really fun if I picked you up as a drunk back in the 90s. We may know each other more than we think. Yeah, the road system there is so goofy. I always hated it. If we were like posted up somewhere in an ambulance, because sometimes if things got particularly busy or if ambulances were busy in one section of the city, then we'd be brought up to cover another section, and we wouldn't be on our station, so it'd be just sitting there on the street. And it was always awkward if somebody from out of town came up to us and asked us for directions downtown, because it was useless to try to explain to anybody how to get anywhere. Oh, you spent many drunk nights there. Oh, the memories are lovely.
I got to drink Sam Adams. I shouldn't probably tell this. I can tell the story. I'm an adult now. So, we were a bunch of hooligans, and we were basically left unsupervised for many days. And we had like a ringleader who I wasn't. I was a follower of the ringleader. And we got to, enjoy the adult side of Boston. We drank many Sam Adams brews. I was like, this is really good. So then as an adult, when Sam Adams becomes popular in Texas, I was like, aha, I've had this beverage before. They're like, which one would you try? I would try all of them.
I never got into Sam Adams because they put so much hops in them. It always tastes very bitter to me. So
I'll tell you this, when you're 14 or 15, they're excellent. You can never taste it. It's like Budweiser. I used to drink Budweiser. Can't anymore. I don't drink really anymore anyways, but all right. Listen, the football show has gone off about Boston here.
That's okay. But the stories are getting better because Bachi's here. She says she loved when people ask her how to get to Quincy Market, and she told them how to go to Quincy, Mass.
I have something similar. But
2 completely different locations. That is awesome. Did you do that on purpose, Bachi? Because that's a good joke.
So Lindsay, I got one real similar. Lindsay will know exactly what I'm talking about. So at my original, not my original shop, but when I worked for Lloyd, he worked in Driftwood, and there's this barbecue place in Driftwood called Salt Lake, and it's popular amongst people that aren't from Austin and or the surrounding area. And so these people will show up. They used to come up to Lloyd's and they ask how to get to the Salt Lake. Now, really, all it was about a mile away. They just had to turn and head south on one of the roads and then head east back towards town. Head north back towards town. And they'd head east on one of the roads and head north back towards town. It was about a mile away. I would tell them to go to the next town over, get on the highway. I tell them to take 150 to Ranch Road 12, take 12 to 290, take 290 down to Nutty Brown Road, and then take that all the way back up to the intersection of 967 and 1850. It's about 30-mile round trip, 35-mile round trip, or they could take a mile. It just depends on what mood it was. I agree. It's garbage.
It is garbage. When Kathy and I first came down here, we came down for my sister's wedding, and we'd never been down here before. We wanted to try really good Texas barbecue, so we went on this like barbecue tour of all these different restaurants. And I can't believe how many recommendations we got to go to Salt Lake. And we went there and it was junk. It was terrible. And I don't know how they continue to do such an incredible business serving such substandard food.
Because people think they're getting like this great deal because they can pay whatever. I haven't eaten at Salt Lake in probably a decade. And they charge like whatever it is, but it's all you can eat. Right? They're like, oh, it's all you can eat. That doesn't mean you need to eat all you can. I mean, I don't want to eat there. Yeah,
No.
I agree. It's nasty.
It is nasty.
There's nothing there like absolutely zero.
No. And then we had someone came down. I think we had friends come down from out of state years ago, and they said, "Oh, we heard about the Salt Lake. We want to go. Want to go with us?" We're like, no, but we went anyway, and I had just as miserable a time the second time I was there. The food is just not good.
No, it's not. But yeah, that's whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you paid for it later, Bachi. I promise.
Yeah, one way or the other, Botch, you paid for it.
Whether you got it for free or not.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. I digress. On to other things. Let's cover yes, Bill Miller is better quality.
I've never been there.
It's
I don't know. I started smoking my own meats and been so happy with the results. I'm like, we don't need to go out to barbecue anymore.
There's good places to go eat. They're just not. I mean, you go to Franklin, you go to La Barbecue. There's a Valentina's Barbecue in South Austin. It's pretty good. And then there's Whitfield's, which is real close. And those are they're kind of more like boutique barbecue joints. They're not real worldly known. So they're good barbecue. Whitfield's is really good. I like going to Lockhart.
I've never been that far for barbecue, but we found a place in Kyle called Milt's Pit Barbecue.
All right. Yes.
Fantastic.
Right. It's not as good as it used to be, though. It used to be better. It used to be way better. They have these things called Lockhart links. You've got to try the Lockhart link next time. Okay. Milt's. Milt's is good. I like Milt's. It's like if you're in Kyle and you want some good barbecue, it's not bad.
Not at all.
It's not the best, though. There's better barbecue within 2 miles of my house right now.
Okay.
So we have this place called Whitfield's, and it's a food truck, right? But he's right now he's there. He's a former UT football player that owns it, and he's actually cooked for the college game day crew when they come to Austin before. And you gotta get there early because he sells out really fast. And so a lot of times we just get scraps. We'll go in there and we're just like, "Oh, hey, you got anything left?" And he's like, "This is what I can offer you." You're like, "Well, take it." Everything's great. The sides are just as good as the barbecue.
Wow, that's surprising because
I'll try to score some Whitfields. I don't know if I can, and if I can keep it warm long enough. You know what I mean? Or without eating it.
Yeah, the Texas Pie Company, Bocce, it is fantastic. No, it's not, but they're right next door to Milt's. So once you're done at Milt's, go next door and get yourself some pie.
I think Bocce is a vegetarian, I believe.
Oh. Wow, she said Bill Miller is better quality. Are you a vegetarian, Bocce?
I don't know. She may have been vegetarian after eating it, Salt Lake. I don't know.
Well, Salt Lake will do that to you. If your first experience tasting any kind of meat was Salt Lake, you probably never want to have it again.
All right, this is kind of getting off the rails.
She's a vegetarian. Okay.
Yes. See, I pay attention. I am a good husband. I listen. When my wife talks, I listen to her. So when Bocce talks, I will listen to her as well.
I admittedly, it's not that I don't listen; it's I don't retain. That's my problem. Is I don't remember things.
Oh, so you have early onset, don't give a shit.
No, it's not that I don't care either. That's what really bothers me about myself is that I do care and I do want to retain certain information, but I don't know why I don't or I can't. I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna tell you something in the backstream. I can't tell you right now, but I tried something today. It was excellent. Excellent.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it again soon, but I can't tell you. I can't say it in front of everybody. So the teens of people there.
It's does it have dirty words in it?
No. The twos of people now.
Twos of people.
The twos of people. So it looks like Michigan's gonna punch this bad dad in and wrap this bad boy up here, and they're gonna make the college football playoff without a problem. Clemson has defeated North Carolina by a score of a lot to not a lot. And Cade Klubnik looked fantastic. So I would assume that Cade Klubnik's going to be the starter next year at Clemson, which is rightfully so. So, so it's been to be expected the final portion of today, right? So the Michigan here, if they score, this is going to cover the points here. Yep. They just covered. So for all you degenerate gamblers out there that took Purdue or the points in Purdue, like Purdue to cover, you just took a bad beat if they don't score in the next minute 22. Because I think the spread was 16.5. Am I correct on that? 16.5, and now we're at 20 points going for 21. So they'd have to score a touchdown for you not to take the bad beat here. No, the touchdown didn't even do you any good. No, it's 16.5. Yeah, so the touchdown would help you out. That'd be a bad beat too if you took Michigan in the over. 16.5 points is a lot to cover in college.
It's not going to happen.
I only bet with Lindsay's money. That's a good call, Bocce. It means you never technically ever lose. Because when he loses, right? I mean, like You're playing with his money. If you lose, it means that he loses. But if you win, he's got split half of it with you, so it means y'all both win. It's solid logic. I mean, I can see where she's coming from this.
It's flawless.
Yeah, I mean, just it's like always picking the team that scores the most points. You never lose when you pick the team that scores the most points.
Yeah, you just have to wait a little longer. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I pick the games after they're over. I'll go, okay, I would take Michigan by 21. At Vegas, I think I'm kind of crazy, but it pays.
Hey. Everyone has a method. Your system works for you.
Bocce goes, Mama raised no fools except for my 3 older brothers. Oh, man. I'd like to say that I was the other. I was the good side of the equation, but I was the other side of that equation as well. My oldest brother, he's like, like Mr. America, star of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he doing with his life these days?
Oh, he's like just uber successful. And then there's me.
It depends on how you define success.
You ever seen A League of Their Own? The female baseball team.
I never actually saw the movie. No.
You're killing me with these movies.
You know why I didn't see that movie?
Because it was in the 90s. You had better things to do.
No.
You don't even download.
I saw a lot of movies in the 90s. And I like Tom Hanks. The reason I did not see that movie is because it has Gina Davis in it, and I cannot stand her acting. Because it bothers me that somebody with her level of talent can make a living acting, and I can't. Not that I've ever tried. But I mean, you could randomly pick somebody out of a crowd and have them do a better acting job than her.
Purdue's making this interesting here, folks.
Are they?
Uh-oh. Bad beat time. Here it comes. I don't know the outcome yet. They haven't scored yet, but they do. Yeah, no. So let's see. In my family, one brother is a fireman, EMT, another seafood store owner, and one is a brigadier general. And then there's me. Oh, well, like they all gotta have the black sheep in the family. Bocce, I'm there with you. In my family, it's kind of like, this is our son, Brian. This is our other son, Brian's little brother.
It's funny how families develop. My 3 sisters, my oldest one, Leslie, that a lot of you guys met last night, or you've seen her in some of my videos.
She's from Naples, though, right?
What's that?
She's from Naples, though, right?
Not originally. Florida.
Smalls. Florida.
Yeah, I mean, her life took one direction, and she was studying industrial art in college, but completely abandoned that, and she wound up making a good living, being tending bar and waiting tables at some nice restaurants. And
that makes perfect sense.
It's a lot of money in that. And if you're
No,
good,
but just meeting her now, I know, like that makes perfect sense to me.
oh, she's got
She's
the ideal
awesome. I
personality.
love her. She's great.
She's got this never say die attitude. If she is the epitome of fake it till you make it. She'll do anything just by sheer desire and energy alone.
I thought she was great whenever I met her. I told you that she needed her own route, and you're like, well,
it's not
all
her.
right. They covered. Can you believe that?
Look at
They
that.
covered.
Wait, what was the spread?
16.5, I think is the spread on this one.
Are you going ahead in time to see that?
What, the spread? I already knew what the spread was. Yes, I was ahead in time. This is the Let's Play the game right here. Oh, no. Bachi goes, I went to my mother's funeral. Everyone said, oh, I didn't know there was a girl in the family.
Oh my god. What?
All right. I think we're going to have a better late than never guest hop on just for a minute. Just for a minute. If he ever shows up in the screen. We're only going to be on for like 5 more minutes, Hunter, but it's better late than never. Well, that wraps up the college football season, Lindsay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later. No, I'm kidding. We're going to wait for Hunter to hop on, and we'll cover today's games in about 4.5 seconds with him. All right, here we go. If you're lucky, you might get a shot of my daughter in the background here. All right, it's the man about town, Hunter. What's up, bud?
It's just hanging out with friends on video games.
Playing video games. You got anything big going on, son? Do you have anything big coming up in life, son?
Oh, just an all expense paid summer camp to the frozen swamp of Virginia for 10 fun weeks. They tell me it's the time of your life.
Just remember, in Virginia, when you hit water, you're actually in Maryland.
Yeah. Funny how that one works.
Give me a recap of today's games for me, if you don't mind.
Well, so we have the MAC championship. Ohio had a big favor going into it. They looked kind of like the dominant team. They had a backup quarterback, but he's mobile. He's a good player. I do think he's a pretty good player. But Toledo, really clamped down on them and won their 12th MAC championship, first time since 2017. Big stuff for Toledo there. And then we have the American. I'm just kidding. So we're talking about the upset of the day, Big 12 championship. TCU chokes it at the end against Kansas State, and that your best player at TCU is Max Duggan. He is the heart, soul of that team, and the fact that you're on the goal line to win it, and he doesn't touch the ball twice is sad. It reminds me a lot of I said basically they should have ran some form of quarterback sneak or quarterback power, something. Put the ball in his hands, not in the running back's hands, not in a fullback's hands, in your star player's hands. That's if he doesn't make it, oh well, that's your best player. But instead you hand it off to your running back, who's very good. Kendrick Miller's an excellent running back, but he's not the heart and soul of the team. Max Duggan is. So I think they survive this loss and they make it to the CFP, but it'll be tough. Time will tell. We'll find out Tuesday who makes it in and who doesn't. Also on the day, Tulane took care of business against UCF. They kind of won how I expected them to. They just ran the ball against UCF. Michael Pratt played excellent, 5 total touchdowns. Looked like a great team. They're going to go to the Cotton Bowl and probably take on USC is what it's looking like, is what the college football world is saying. Speaking of USC, and I know it was covered earlier, but Utah, you can talk about Caleb Williams getting hurt or whatever. Utah had him bottled up before he got hurt, and then he got hurt, and it just made it easier for them. I think Utah was going to win that game no matter what. At the end of the day, injuries, no matter what, Utah put money in the bank the entire time, running the ball, building off the run, doing what they do best. Cam Rising played one of his best games of his career at Utah. They won. They have the right to go to the Rose Bowl. They're the best team in the Pac-12. All said and done. Moving to the SEC title, Georgia dumpstered LSU. LSU had a lot of passing yards towards the end of the game, but by that point, the game was over. Georgia had it won, and Georgia goes into the CFP, the odds-on favorite to repeat, and we'll see what the Dogs can do there. Stetson Bennett may find himself in New York. The New York City conversation now is very, very different than it was 48 hours ago. Probably just touch on that real quick at the end, but I'll get to the for the Big Ten championship. I mean, Michigan did what they needed to do. They came out, they dominated, they won. They are now, they're gonna be the number 2 team in the playoff. They're a little touch and go here and there with Purdue, but we knew Purdue was going to put up a fight. But Michigan did what Michigan does. They put money in the bank with the run game, and it wins them the football game. And that's all there is to that. With Michigan, just try to make that one quick. And then the ACC championship. College football, meet Cade Klubnik. He is one of the best he'll be one of the best players in college football next year. And I think you just saw it tonight. You saw the beginnings of the next great Clemson quarterback. DJU, good luck wherever you go next, but I think that Clemson's found their new starting quarterback and their new star. I think that does it for championship game weekend. Your Heisman Trophy leaders probably Stetson Bennett, Max Dugan, Caleb Williams probably still falls in there. Blake Corum is probably somewhere in there. You may see Hendon Hooker's name come up because he did play well when he was there, but obviously it's a, what have you done lately sport and what have you done lately trophy. As a Texas fan, I hope to see Bijan Robinson in there. I don't know that you do, but it'd be remiss if he wasn't there. He does lead the nation in total yards and total touchdowns, so food for thought. If I'm going to pick a Heisman Trophy winner, I'd say my Heisman Trophy winner, based on all the evidence, would be Blake Corum. I know that Michigan won 2 games without him, but he won them a lot of those games to get there. And he would lead the country now in yards more than likely if he was healthy. So there you go. My Heisman Trophy winner for this year is Blake Corum.
All right. So thanks for Hunter for hopping on and basically, taking care of what we took us an hour and 15 minutes to do in 7 minutes. So thank you, son. I appreciate that. He's sitting about 10-ish feet from me right now. And just it's a blessing to be in such presence of greatness.
He's very efficient. I like that.
Well, the younger generation, they're just to the point. You know what I mean? They're the now generation. So it's good. He's to the point.
That must mean we're old enough that we're more into a storytelling generation.
Yes, well, back in my day, Sonny.
there was actually a lot of that. We talked about the 70s, 80s, and 90s a lot tonight.
Yeah, we did.
When I was in the 90s, living in Boston.
All right, so let's cover some business real quick, and then let's put a bow on this one, and then we'll briefly talk about what's going on next week. Talk about some business coming up. Let's put a bow on this one and send it home. So 35 subscribers giveaway. 35 subscribers. We've got to get to 35 subscribers. You're going to win 2 T-shirts of your size, style, choice. Right here. See? 35, right? You're going to win 2 $50 gift cards to Buffalo Wild Wings. $2.50 each. That's $100 value. And you're going to win a football signed by the Wide Right CFP crew. Now, Joey Preciado, if he's mailed it to me, then we'll get the football. If not, then we're not going to get the football. So you got to sign up. You got to be a subscriber to the channel. You got to subscribe to the channel. You're going to have to watch our video on Saturday morning. It's going to be independent of our live stream on Saturdays. We have 2 live streams on Saturday. This will be an independent video of our live stream. You'll have to like and comment on that video. Then on our second live stream, after the Heisman Trophy winner has been read and a Heisman Trophy winner is holding up the Heisman Trophy, we're going to come on afterwards and award a special winner the Wide Right CFB Heisman Trophy Moment Package, which includes the 2 T-shirts, the 2 gift cards, and a football signed by all of us at Wide Right CFB. So it's a package worth the teens. So, I see we have a new person in the chat. Is that a friend of yours, Hunter? All right. Bocce says, what time Saturday morning? The video is going to drop at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. It's going to be probably 1 or 2 minutes long, and we will go from there. So you got to sign up. You got to be a subscriber. You got to watch the video, and you got to comment in the video and like it to win. So you got to do all that. And then we will read the winner after 8 p.m. and go from there. After 8. I don't know what time, 8, 8:30. We're going to have a intergalactically known panelist. When we say panelist, is it a panelist, Lindsay? Panelist?
Sure. Yeah.
An intergalactically known person is going to join us on the panel. How about that?
That sounds good.
Would you agree? That sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting day. Lots going on next Saturday. So let's talk about what we're going to do. The video is going to come out in the morning. Got to watch the video. We're actually going to live stream Army Navy and then see what Hunter thinks about Army Navy. And we're going to let him do analysis on that game. He's a big fan of college football. He probably should be coaching college football at some point. He's that good. I can brag on him. He's my kid. Like, oh, look, he's so cute. You know, I'm just embarrassing him right now. I'm doing it on purpose. And then we're going to watch Army Navy. And like I said, after the Heisman Trophy winner, we're going to hop back on for about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And we're going to announce a winner and boom, done. So Lindsay's got some business he needs to handle real quick. And then we'll let Hunter say his goodbyes. We'll let say his goodbyes and then I'll send it home. So Lindsay, talk about what you got going on Friday.
Friday on my channel, which is Coil Tools, at 9:30 p.m. we're having a drawing to give away a Snap-on toolbox with a top box for people who have entered a fundraiser for the family of the gentleman who owned the box and passed away. You can still buy tickets if you'd like to contribute to the fundraiser. Go to coiltools.com/fundraiser. See all the rules of eligibility, and there's a link to make a donation there. So it's Coil, COYLE, tools.com/fundraiser. Please contribute to the cause, and if you contribute $200 or more, you will get a ticket to win a toolbox that's valued at about $8,000. So it's a heck of a prize for a heck of a cause, and that's next Friday, 9:30 p.m. Central Time on my Coil Tools YouTube channel. Hope to see you there.
All right. As always, in order of importance, go Navy, beat Army. Go Navy, beat Army. Go Navy, beat Army.
Am I up?
Yep. Long pause means it's your turn.
Was I already up?
Well, you gotta say your goodbyes. You just say goodbye.
Thanks for everyone for joining in the chat. Bocce, it was great to see you again. Please come around more often and share the laugh some more with us. We appreciate seeing you on there. And Devin Long, thank you. Pat Paulson, of course, good to see you always. Raging Cajun, thank you all for joining in the chat. Please subscribe and like and comment and get involved in the giveaway that we're having next week. Should be a ton of fun. So thank you all very much, and we will see you on Saturday.
Once again, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Joey Preciado, Raging Cajun Garage, Bocce's Blankets and More, Devin Long, Pat Paulson, Pat CB, Chris Hodges, everybody out there in YouTube land. thank you for watching. We appreciate it. You have made this season fun. We look forward to another exciting broadcast a week from now, this Saturday coming up. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. We're gonna watch Army Navy. You're gonna have a chance to win the Wide Right CFB giveaway, and you're gonna get this, join us after the Heisman Trophy winner. My son's making faces right now. I should have put him on right now. So, anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up. It's been a great broadcast. We will see you next Saturday. And remember, the team that scores the most points always wins the game. Thanks for watching.